So we're going to dive right back into the ongoing investigation that has gripped South Carolina and raised significant questions around the passing of Mica Miller and her husband, Pastor John Paul Miller. Recently, just today, the feds conducted a raid of John Paul Miller's home months after Mica's passing in a remote North Carolina park. Official reports labeled Mica's passing as self-inflicted, yet her family believes there may be more to the story, recalling troubling incidents in her relationship that hinted at coercive control. In addition, online and community sources have highlighted reports of concerning behavior tied to John Paul Miller's church, with mentions of his interactions with not-of-age female youngins, so it's alleged that he is a PDF file, and significant property holdings connected to the organization, including assets like planes and valuable real estate. And interestingly, when the feds conducted this raid, J.P. Miller was nowhere to be found. So some people are actually saying that he took off in this private plane worth $400,000. And Solid Rock Church owns multiple properties worth like $5 million. So how did they get that much money? This has only intensified curiosity and suspicion about John Paul's role and activities in the church. On the day of the search, nearly 25 FBI agents arrived at the home in the quiet neighborhood, observed by neighbors who noted John Paul was not present. Agents were seen carrying gloves and bags labeled Evidence Response Team as they prepared to enter. According to some family accounts, Mica had confided that if anything ever happened to her, it wouldn't be by her own choice. It would be because of J.P. Miller. So she hinted strongly before she passed that she was fearing for her life. Family members are calling into question the official narrative and seek further clarity on the events leading up to her passing. So prior to the tragedy, Mica had reportedly been working her regular job and even had plans to meet friends. I mean, the day she passed away, she was wearing her normal serving outfit, adding to her family's confusion over the nature of her final hours and minutes. And is J.P. Miller a serial unaliver? Because in a new and unsettling development, a young woman was discovered this morning deceased across the street from the neighborhood where John Paul Miller currently lives and previously resided with Mica. So social media reporter the Robbie Harvey spoke with a neighbor who gave his account of the unsettling events.
Yeah, my neighbor came back from the doctor's office, and there was a car in the ditch across from our neighborhood on his property. There was a few police there, and they found a dead girl in there.
You're saying it's a girl?
Yeah, it was a dead girl, young girl. Of course, they say that and everything. Then he came back into the neighborhood right before you called. FBI, Horry County, he looked like slid. I think it was mostly FBI were all down there with a drone behind the car. They waited and waited. Somehow they got the garage door open, and about 20 of them went through the garage.
Wait, you're saying the FBI had their drawn at John Paul?
Yeah, they were all, the roads were blocked off, the cars were all out in the road, driveway, and they had all behind the cars. They were all drawn towards the house. I guess they thought he was in there.
Wow.
And then they all got in a big line probably 15, 20 minutes later and just went straight into the garage. And then finally a few of them came out and they were walking around outside. The John Paul left probably an hour before they got there. I'm sure he was tipped off they were on the way.
Adding to the mystery are questions around how Mica's body was found deep within an isolated part of the park, in a section blocked off by warning signs and only accessible by wading through water known to harbor wildlife. The location of her body raised eyebrows among those following the case, as well as Cyrus Luce, who pointed out the physical difficulty of reaching that area on one's own. And her family points out that the shell casings were found about 40 feet away on the shore. So how did Mica's body end up there? This has obviously left many people to wonder if there's a larger unseen story here. As this investigation progresses, it's clear that the questions and mysteries surrounding Mica's life, her relationship, and the activities within the church community are far from over.